You know that feeling when things just click? When you feel perfectly in sync? Well, what if I told you that balance isn't just some vague feeling or a metaphor? What if it's a code? That's the core idea behind Crippin's theory, that balance is the universal, measurable constant that shapes everything from the swirl of a galaxy to the thoughts running through your head right now.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Could the harmony we see in nature, the stability inside an atom, and that feeling of clarity in our own minds, could it all follow the exact same fundamental rule? That's the absolutely wild question we're jumping into today. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the core equation, the mathematical heartbeat of this whole theory. Then we'll see how it scales up, from the geometry of our own thoughts to the architecture of our cities, and then even bigger, to a kind of cosmic blueprint. And finally, we'll bring it all right back home, to a personal rhythm that you can actually feel.
All right, let's dive right into the mathematical heart of it all. This is where the theory tries to do something, well, something pretty radical. It tries to give coherence a number. And here it is, the ATLS equation. Now, it looks simple, but what it's trying to do is incredibly ambitious. T, that's our constant of balance, and it's basically the product of three key things: P for proportion, kappa for phase, and R for resonance. It's a formula that's aiming to wrap up geometry, timing, and energy all into one single elegant expression of stability.
Now, this is a really crucial point. The theory says that balance isn't about being perfectly still, like a statue. No, it's an active, dynamic rhythm. It's this constant dance of adjustment that they call reciprocity. So you're in perpetual motion, but you're also perfectly stable. To make this a little less, abstract, think about a marathon runner. P, or proportion, that's their ideal stride length, the perfect geometric design for their body in motion. Kappa, or phase, that's their pacing, that calibrated rhythm that keeps them from burning out after the first mile. And R, resonance, that's their sustained energy, that stable output that lets them keep going and going. When all three are totally in sync, you get T, a state of perfect flowing balance.
Okay, so we've got this universal formula. The big question is, how in the world does that translate into a map of our own consciousness? How does this math become self-awareness?
Well, the idea is that our minds have this fundamental toolkit, almost like a geometric alphabet, that we use to organize our thoughts and emotions. They call these the four primitives, and they are supposedly the absolute building blocks of our inner world.
And what's so fascinating is just how intuitive these are. The triangle, that's all about direction and clarity, kind of like fire. The square represents stability and structure, like solid earth. The circle embodies connection and flow, just like water, and the spiral symbolizes growth and putting it all together, like air. See? These aren't just random shapes. They're the very architecture of how we think and feel.
So what's the point of all this? What's the practical goal of having this geometric language? It's all about bridging the gap between our wandering creative mind, what scientists call the default mode network, and our focused get-it-done mind, the task-positive network. The theory suggests that by using these primitives, we can actually help these two parts of our brain talk to each other better, reducing the noise and leading to a state of real internal harmony.
Okay, let's zoom out again. We've seen how this theory might apply to the mind, but what about the world we literally build around ourselves? How do proportion, phase, and resonance show up in stone and steel?
Well, just take the pyramid. It is the absolute embodiment of proportion, of pi. That fixed geometry, its perfect, clear climb to a single point, it's just a flawless, stable design. It feels complete, powerful. That's proportion.
Now contrast that with the ziggurat. It's totally different. It's all about phase, or kappa. It's not a smooth, single slope. It's a series of terraces, of steps. Each one marks a measured progression, a calibrated rhythm. It's a journey that happens in stages, a physical picture of moving through time.
And finally, we have the dome, which is the perfect symbol for resonance, or R. A dome isn't just about a roof over your head, it's about containing space and shaping sound. I mean, think about the acoustics inside a great cathedral. The air itself becomes part of the experience. It sustains energy, it completes this circle of awareness. That is resonance.
So, from human-made structures, we are now taking our biggest leap yet, all the way to the proposed physics of the entire cosmos. This is where the theory gets really, really ambitious. At the very heart of this is an idea called equal force symmetry. And really, it's just this. For anything to be truly stable, there has to be a perfect balance. A balance between an expressive force, the stuff we can see and measure, and an unseen containing force that kind of holds it all together. It's this constant, perfect tension.
To try and map this out on a planetary scale, the theory uses this really fascinating symbolic framework, a dodecahedron, the 12-sided Platonic solid. It suggests there are 12 resonant zones across the globe. Now, to be clear, this isn't a claim about literal geophysics. It's more of a map of energetic tendencies, places where culture and architecture might just naturally pop up in harmony with this underlying rhythm.
So we've gone from a simple equation to the mind, to the architecture of our world, and now to the entire planet. It's an incredible scope. But it all kind of begs one really important question, doesn't it?
I mean, seriously, how can we be sure that this beautiful, elegant pattern of proportion, phase, and resonance is anything more than just a really cool idea? Is there any concrete proof of it in the technology we use every single day? Well, the theory points to a surprisingly concrete and, frankly, unexpected source of proof. It's a tool that radio frequency engineers have been using for decades to tame the invisible world of energy waves, the Smith chart.
The parallel here is just striking. An engineer uses a Smith chart to find the perfect balance of proportion and phase to create a resonant radio signal, right? They want to maximize power and minimize waste. The theory argues this is the exact same geometric puzzle we face when we're trying to stabilize our own attention or our empathy. The medium is different. One is radio waves, the other is consciousness, but the underlying math of balance, it's identical.
And this brings us full circle. We've journeyed from the cosmic scale right back down to the most personal level imaginable. So how does this universal code of balance actually apply to your life, right here, right now? In this grand model of the world, the theory gives the human heart a very special and powerful role. They call it the 13th node. It's seen as our ultimate personal tuning mechanism. The idea is that the heart's massive electromagnetic field acts as our own personal resonator, synchronizing our internal rhythm with that larger geometric system of the planet. So, I guess I'll just leave you with this to think about. If your life, your energy, your very consciousness is a rhythm that's governed by these principles, what's your geometric pattern right now? Are you in a triangle of sharp focus, a square of stable boundaries, or maybe a spiral of growth? Perhaps the key to finding your balance is to first find your shape.